Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, look, I just want to respond to the comments and questions that you have. I did this video for Nasera, and I said why you should focus on what matters. And that was an important message that I wanted to relay to people who are into the whole Nasera Jacera. Because I get a lot of people go, oh, you don't believe in it, you don't believe in it. It's not that I don't support what's going on. What I don't support is all the bullshit that comes along with it. I did a video explaining myself, but also wanted to point out the things that are obvious about this movement that people should be concerned about and careful about because they're being targeted. You'll see what I'm talking about. Let's get into this. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates. If I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey. Catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. So I used to do Nasera videos back in the day, but my approach was much more different. I didn't get into all those stories about Saint Germain and Bill Clinton having a gun to his head and forced to sign this and all the other crap that's out there. The white hats, black hats, clones. I just didn't get into it because it was crap. There's no way to prove it. Not at all. You hear people tell you these crazy stories, but they have no way to support what they're saying. You're supposed to just take them at their word. I told everybody, look, there's this list that I've read, and I support this. These are things I think that should be done here in our country. I think people should protest and demand for this list to be accomplished because it's very realistic, unlike the crap that we're hearing out there. So let's go ahead and hear what you guys have to say, and I'll respond to them. Another great show, Pimpy. They sure found some winners to interview. Crack me up. If you watch the video, and I suggest you do before you watch this one, the news went out of their way to interview the wackadoodles of the group. Those who were claiming that people were clones, people went to Gitmo and they were hung and all this kind of crap. And it just made them look like idiots. What I was saying was, hypothetically, look at, even if it was true and you found evidence that people were clones and that people were going to Gitmo, how do you go about convincing other people that you want to join this movement, that what you're talking about is real? Even if it is real, I wouldn't start out the gate with, well, everybody's clones or actors, or they're going to Gitmo, they've been hung, they've been replaced by clones. Don't start off with that. Start off about what matters the most in this movement, and that is to restore the republic. And then go down that list. As time goes on, they can get educated about the other things. But when you're being interviewed on the news and you come out with, that's not Biden walking up to the plane, tripping over, I believe that's Woody Harrelson is what one lady said. I was like, oh, good Lord. And it really got me thinking. The 17th letter movement, somehow along the way, ended up merging with the whole Nasera Jacera thing. So the stories were crisscrossed with one another. The 17th letter movement became very powerful in this country. And I told everybody be careful because it reminded me a lot of when Russia did Operation Trust. As a matter of fact, it's the same blueprint. If you don't know what Operation Trust is, I highly recommend you go research it. Anyways, having said that, they interview all these people. They look like wackadoodles. Doesn't sound like they know their ass from a hole in the ground. They sound ridiculous. I'm not saying that everybody that's in this movement is all brains and peaches and cream, but how do we know that the opposition doesn't plant people in there to make the 17th letter movement look like crazy people? So that's why you got to be careful about what stories you support and who you're out there supporting, because it just looks bad. I'm a big supporter of the things that are on that list I just showed you. I think it should be done, but I don't get in those wackadoodle stories. I've done many Nasera videos. And now, after a while, I was like, okay, I'd already proved what I needed to prove. And I know I keep saying this, but I need to go back and update all the subjects that I spoke about because a lot's changed since then. But I'm not going to go down that path of wackadoodleness, all right? Just not going to happen. I go to Craig Hamilton Parker, Michelle Fieldings, and astrology for my news. Even so, nobody gets it right 100%. Ultimately, anything can happen. We can only do our best to prep for any sudden emergencies. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Look, everybody goes to the things that give them the most comfort. Where I have an issue is where these content creators are lying so much that people are killing themselves over it. After listening to a content creator over and over, they finally got so depressed that they killed themselves. But the fact that they continue to lie to people, knowing that they cause harm to family, I don't support that. So I will call it bullshit out when I see it. Yep, I agree. A lot of stuff is put out to make conservatives look like wackadoos. I wish Nicera was true. That would be nice for sure. Well, Nancy, here's the thing. Calling it Nicera, the whole label I have an issue with. Does it really matter what the hell they call it? The truth of the matter is it's debt jubilee. And I've seen countries like Sri Lanka, when they overthrew their government, they actually demanded a lot of things that were on that list. So is it possible? Of course it is. But they're saying that somebody's going to come out and they're going to make some announcement and this is going to be the name of it. Is all crap, okay? All we care about is, can you restore our constitutional republic and can we do a debt jubilee? Because that would help everybody out. That's the things that we should be focusing on, not these wackadoodle stories about people being hung, replaced with clones, because this is BS. I'm a show me dude, so I'll believe it when I see it. Otherwise, just mouth service at this point. Thanks, Pimpy, for bringing a dude. You're very welcome. I appreciate that. I'm the channel that people get pissy about because I'm grounded. I don't have a problem going through debunking or proving something is right. I'll give you a perfect example. My student loan was totally removed. That's how I got in the whole Nicera thing. I showed everybody. $157,000 gone. When I called the creditor, they just said it was gone. There was no reason for it. It was gone. We don't know why. There's no explanation that I can think of. And when I shared it with people, they kept wanting to call it Nicera. I said, well, I don't know what you call it. There's no proof that this is from Nicera. But having said that, it is kind of weird that these things were taken care of. So I'm happy about it, of course. And that was 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago? And still to this day, it's gone with no explanation. So if you want to call it Nicera, that's fine. Call it Debt Jubilee, call it whatever you want. But there's a lot of people out there that need this type of relief. And that's what people should be focusing on, not the name and not the wackadoodle stories. Because those wackadoodle stories have nothing to do with the movement itself. The movement is to restore the constitutional republic and offer debt jubilee and relief to the people. Pimpy, I agree with you on a lot of this. What's your take on the check and 50-page document from 2017 when Trump paid off the national debt? I'd be interested, Matthew, if you could post a link to what you're talking about. Because I know when Trump was in office, once a year, these countries from around the world would meet at a location. And this I know for a fact. They would sit in a room and speak about debt settlements between the countries, which I thought was interesting. And I never did find out what that was about. I just knew it existed. I had more than one source tell me about this, sources that didn't know one another. And I never did get to the bottom of what that was about or why they did it, what they were trying to accomplish or why they were trying to accomplish it. But I did know that once a year under Trump's administration, countries were meeting from all around the world privately to try to settle debts. That could be one of the reasons why they kept Trump from getting back in office, because he was probably pushing us towards debt jubilee. Now, there's no way to prove that. That's just my opinion. Matt, if you have any kind of link or any information that you can share with me on this information you're talking about, the 50-page documents for 2017, where it shows that Trump did pay off our national debt, I'd be interested in seeing it if you're okay with that. Been waiting for my Nicera prosperity funds since 2020. You better talk me off the edge, Pimpy. I want my money now. Yeah, I feel you. I can't even tell you guys, all bullshit aside, how many people were in heavy depression over this. I would sit and have long talks with them because you can't just type all this crap down. Eventually, I just give them my phone number and we'd have conversations on the phone. And I would say, look, don't give up on the movement, but just get away from all the BS that they're telling you. Don't get stuck in those stories. There's no way to prove it. Nobody out there can give you receipts proving that what they're saying is true. That's why when I did my videos, I also left the links down below so you can go see where I got the information from. And that's how these people should have done it. But since they're so full of crap and they're making the stories up, there's nothing for them to link to because it's just a story they made up. Love this video. Thank you. I appreciate the support. The problem with many people who support Trump as well as those who support Biden is that they are ignorant of issues in play and have listened to some talking heads instead of thinking for themselves. If you are to uncover and know truth, we need to do our own homework. This is my quest for the rest of my life. And see, I always encourage people to do their own research. I get that you don't have the time, and so that's why you want to listen to people who do videos. But in my opinion, if you're going to choose somebody to listen to, make sure then that they also leave the receipts is what I say, but like leave the links down below. So if you want to read about it yourself and you want to make sure it's a reputable source, just go to the link and look. They should leave you the link. But I agree. Yeah, when I was doing videos, look, I would listen to other people from time to time and hear what they have to say about it. I started doing my own research to find out what was BS and what wasn't. And that's when I started doing videos explaining to people. I showed them the receipts. I showed them the website on which ones are BS and what is the truth. As for this video, top shelf, my friend, kaboom. Thank you, Mama. Appreciate it. Jan Halper Hayes claims that our military tribunals offshore in the Red Sea and other places. She doesn't name names. As for e.g., the channel that records all those gruesome imageries, hangings, is just weird. So I used to work with Seavine News Network. If you remember, the 17th letter posted that there was a group of civilians that had access to what was going on in Gitmo. And these were the people. They literally worked with the Department of Defense. They can go over to Gitmo and watch the trials themselves if they wanted to. They were allowed to go on to Gitmo and report things. So when I was doing the videos with them, we were focusing a lot on the terrorists that were there and scheduled for trials. But one of the hardest things we had to do was constantly debunk the stories that are being told about who's being tried at Gitmo. There are no famous people. There are no politicians. Nobody's been hung. There are no clones. I said that a million times. Now, Jan Halper Hayes is interesting to me. I've seen her in videos, and she looks awfully convincing. But I'm not sure what her agenda is or a whole lot about her. But yeah, I can understand why people are intrigued by her. She's definitely interesting to listen to. Samuel L. Jackson, mother, the truth is what I say it is. That's funny. The Hungry Girl. All things like this will come under attack. Why do you people follow mess like this? Just meet, join like-minded people. Don't join clubs, groups. They send someone every time to destroy it. Yeah, well, that's another thing you got to be careful, is that the opposition isn't infiltrating your group and peddling BS or trying to keep you from learning what you should know. So yeah, I'll go back down that list again and update it to find out what's changed, what hasn't changed. I had a lot of videos showing people that a vast majority of the items on that list were already completed or have already been started and well underway. And whether it was a quickie or not, it just so happened that most of them was done under the Trump administration. And you can take that however way you want, but it is interesting that that was the timing. When I talk about these subjects, I don't push any fake stories out there about Trump still being the president and white hats and all that crap because it's bullshit. So if you're interested in the videos and what I have to say, please come join me. But I'm a no-holds-bar, and I'm only going to talk about things that I can prove. Just like I spoke about the QFS system. No, and I mean no other YouTube content creator out there has even found the QF system. I'm the only one that has. And I went through and I showed everybody, I left the links, and I explained to you what it was. Nobody else out there has done that. And like I was stating earlier, we should follow the things that are on that list because those are more realistic without all the wackadoodle stories that come along with it, okay? Anyways, I appreciate you guys tuning in and leaving comments. That's it for now. I'll get back to you later. I'm out.